At the end of the day, a man who fails to judge a woman by her past
I was about to ask
is
that.
a man whose future will suffer for the consequences of his action. Is that true?
Yes.
Give us
But as Christians, you're called to suffer. So that's the thing. Christian preference. If you decide to go with someone like that, you should also be willing to lay your life for that person and share in their burdens, because that's what marriage is about.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of the Defend Your Views podcast. I'm Basil, and with me I have
Uncle Shaw
and Brian.
All right. So today we're going to be having a conversation, but before that, if this is your first time, the Defend Your Views podcast is one where we have conversations about issues that affect us as young Christian adults. So whatever conversation we have, we would take our lead or cue from the Bible. The foundation of whatever decisions we come to, whatever conclusions, whatever logic behind our arguments is primarily based on the Bible, English. Now, as I just said, we're young Christian adults, and we would be discuss a variety of topics, ranging from issues on social media or just random topics that pop up during the day in our conversation, or something that could be trending. It matters not what it is. We would have a conversation about it. We would apply logic, but most importantly, whatever conclusion we come to would be done using the Bible as the basis of everything, essentially.
Yeah.
Yes. So today we're going to be having an interesting conversation. It is one that I came across on Twitter.
For the first time.
Yes, because I'm generally not on Twitter like you, causing trouble. So I saw this video, right? And I watched it, and there was a caption that was also attached to the video. Very interesting stuff. I'm going to play the video, and after that, I'm going to read the caption. Mind you, the caption has a lot of bad words, so I'm not going to be reading it verbatim. Yeah, and after that, then I'll essentially talk about why I thought all of this, caught my attention, and why I thought it was very interesting, and why I thought we should have a conversation about it. All right?
All right.
All right.
I got to a point, I was 34. I said, look, I don't need no more boyfriends. I'm in my 30s, and I wanted to do things God's way. I want to, get married. I'm ready for my husband, but I'm not going to date. And he was like, well, how does that work? I said, well, God is going to tell my friend when it's time that I'm his wife. And we did just that. The world is going to tell you no. Most men in the world are not going to understand that. That's why you got to align with a Christian man, an equally yoked man.
Okay. Yes, it's not a long video. I'm going to read the caption now. And mind you, I'm not going to be reading it verbatim. I'm going to summarize certain parts. This is a woman who knew exactly what she was doing from way back when she was 18. She chose to use more than a decade of her life living a debauchery lifestyle, regardless of the fact she knew what she was doing was wrong. God didn't speak to her when she was in her prime, essentially sleeping around. But when she had had enough of that, she essentially stopped, and no man, wants to settle for her. And at that point, she began to get revelations from God. Now, generally, they, meaning, this woman and women like her, would frequent the church 5 times a week in order to get a Christian man who in this context is a foolish and naive man who they label as God-fearing, who'll align with their beliefs to settle for them. And then they begin to tell them no sex until marriage in order to win their commitments. In their 20s, they want to live their lives however they want. And in their 30s, they now want to do things God's way. So the question is, why didn't she choose to do things God's way in her 20s? That's to tell you women know what they're doing. They want to eat their cake and have it. They want to purposely mess their lives in their prime and still settle for a high-value man afterwards. And then, he goes on to, say a couple of more things that I can't read.
Slander.
but then he wraps it up by saying, at the end of the day, a man who fails to judge a woman by her past is a man whose future will suffer for the consequences of his actions. Now, that's the part. That's the part that caused me to think, you know what? I think we should have a conversation about this. So now, I suppose I'm just going to hear initial thoughts. Please, guys, talk to me.
Brian,
Why?
you always have something to say.
Very true.
Very
true. So I think this is, I don't know, it's tricky because on one hand, I understand that, we all have erred in the past and we all get a new opportunity as Christians to live life as new creation.
Well, there was a line in there that actually speaks to that, Okay. Says they choose to live a slaughtery lifestyle in their prime because they're full of options and then come to Christ when they're washed away because they know the church will always be filled with nice and naive men who are being taught in church that, things are passed away and all things have become new. Yes. So, Brian, I hope you're not being naive here, but please go on.
Because it seems you're sort of passing the message that ladies do as you like in your 20s, then in your 30s, go to church. There are men, Christian men waiting for you. And you can eat your cake and have it. Is that what you're saying, Brian?
I don't understand why. Don't put words into my mouth. So what I'm saying is, in the end, both men and women, based on life spent, not everyone gets to have that, clean slate, like growing or close. Let's say a reasonable slate, because no one is actually sinless. Or
true.
A reasonable slate with less baggage. Yeah. And we need to understand that first and appreciate that to an extent before really understanding how to deal with situations like this. So what he brings up is a valid situation where someone decides that they want to live anyhow, hoping on the fact that later they can rebrand. That's essentially what he's saying. They can rebrand. So the fear for him is this person is camouflaging because that is actually the only real fear there. Like this person is not really changing. This person planned to do this because if the person actually changes, then anything that they've done in the past, even though it has consequences, the spirit with which they would carry to be different, or the mind, and you can appreciate the fact that they have been forgiven and they are new creation. Truly.
Wait,
so I think this boils down to the distinction between a true believer and a false believer, first off, and trying to game God, because that is essentially what the person's alluding to. But he is looking at it from the man's perspective, that this person is trying to game men.
Yeah. Okay. So let me add to that. So to an extent, I agree with you. I remembered. I think we're learning this thing called regeneration, where is now I'm beginning to understand that true believers, you don't come to salvation in Christ by yourself. It's a supernatural work of the Holy Spirit. So it could be that such women will have this strategy in mind. Remember, in this person's breakdown, it was saying that they know what they're doing. They have options. I want to date this guy, do this. Then they are hitting their 30s, saying that guys are not attracted to them or looking at them the same way they looked at them in their 20s. Then church is a good way. They can put on a facade, repackage, rebranding, but does that mean she has changed? Chances are she finds a Christian man who is naive. And I don't know if Christian men are naive, but...
Thank you. So that's the thing. So is she really getting where she went to church?
And she might cheat on that man. So character matters. I think that's the point I'm trying to pick out. Yeah. Character matter. If you've not changed in your 20s, is just because you now tell a man that, okay, no sex before marriage, no this and that, knowing fully well that you've had a lifestyle and you've not been transformed from the inside out. That's not going to change because you're now going to church regularly and you're trying to meet a Christian man because they know biblical values and all of that.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, so I hear what you guys are saying.
I think it's women's supporting.
That's all, nice and well. Yeah, sure, maybe she's camouflaging and all of that. But let's assume she did all of that stuff. And, she gets in there and she still had this plan, this was always the goal. But then she gets in there.
And God touches her.
Yes. and she actually genuinely becomes transformed.
Rebush.
That's a nice story.
Then what? Because we would look at it as, this person has essentially gamed the system. But I hear that and I think about the story or the parable Jesus told about the workers on that, that vineyard or whatever, and how people showed up very early. The owner walked out. He saw people very early in the day. Was like, what are you guys doing? Like, no work. Was like, okay, go and work here. And he kept on doing that at different intervals during the day, right up until the 11th hour. Walked out, saw some people. What are you? No work. Was like, go and work. And then it was time for them to get their payments. The guys who came last, gave them a certain amount of money. The guys who came first, he gave them the same amount of money.
Yeah.
And these guys were like, whoa. What is going on here? Exactly. How do you justify giving these guys who showed up and did very little work the same amount as what you give? I feel like that is, in some way,
the heart of this.
Yes. Is why should people who, did all the crazy stuff they did during their prime years, why should they get to, enjoy the same things as those of us who kept ourselves, and we saw those people going out and partying and enjoying themselves.
That's like the prodigal son story as well.
Exactly. But then, this person does all of that, lives this life of debauchery, and all of that stuff. Goes to the church, to go and find a man because, right now, things are hard outside. Let me come here, find someone nice and just settle.
Start a family.
Yeah, exactly. And then they get in there. And at this point, because they have to show up, he said 5 times a week. 5 times a week that they're going to church. Yes,
I had a
exactly.
service, Bible study, maybe digging deep.
Exactly. It's Sunday, Sunday, Monday,
fellowship.
Tuesday,
Uh-huh.
Wednesday, Friday,
Night vigil.
exactly. They're doing all of it.
Yeah.
So they're showing up that consistently, and eventually
Someone notices.
yes. But most importantly, God decides, you know what? Even though this person thought that they were going to do things this way, but I'm going to make it so that they actually are converted, so that they actually do what I want them to do.
So let me say this. That might work for some women.
No. I'm not even speaking about it generally.
He's saying
I'm
that
saying
for those women that
what
works.
about
That works
those
for
ones?
it doesn't
what do you
appear
have
fair.
to say?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not.
What do you have to say?
It's fair, actually.
What do you have to say there?
Prior to now, I probably won't know how to approach it, but there's something called the sovereignty of God. She will be one of the fortunate ones that went through all of that and finally still lands a godly man, and she herself gets transformed in the process. But I want to say to other women, if you go through this path, you might die in your sin and hellfire is guaranteed. So that's one. I mean, it won't always go that way, you know.
I think we are just. The truth is, we need to be able to apply this to all sectors of life.
Mm-hmm.
It is the same thing as. I like as you brought up those parables. Like they show that in the end, it is our envy or jealousy of how it also points to the fact that we see these things as enjoyment.
We see what things as enjoyment.
You see all these things as
The
like
debauchery.
the debauchery as
Like living your best life now.
as them gaining something. Because if you see it as them losing something, you will feel sorry for them.
Okay, see, so I mean, I suppose there are two sides to this coin. Yes, sure. On the one hand, depending on what perspective you're looking at it from, yes, they are losing something. But then on the other hand, there's this thing called our flesh that we are wrestling with.
Yeah.
And if you're wrestling with something, it's not pleasant. Freeing yourself up, just giving into it. My goodness, I bet that feels really good. I'm just saying perspective. So yeah, sure. On the one hand, yes, we can look at it as these people are losing something. But even as Christians, you can look at it and some part of you will be envious because they are actually they're actually enjoying something. Yes, they are. Yes, there's a reason why.
It appeals to us.
Yes, there's a reason why there is this, suffer now and enjoy later thing associated with Christians or Christianity.
True.
We're not supposed to be balling
You
here.
must suffer now.
Exactly.
Yes.
Book of Titus. Anyone that wants to be godly must be ready for persecution.
So if we're being persecuted and if we're suffering here, it means that those guys, they're enjoying.
They're
enjoying.
Well,
it's perspective.
it is perspective,
Yes. Okay.
And it is indicative of the fact that we might at that moment to also be looking at ourselves as kind of, or we might not be seeing sin. It is perspective, because God, the way God sees us is different from how we see each other. And we can't just rule it out, like dismiss it, because it is a human thing. It's something that most people will feel, regardless of how much knowledge you have of or understanding you have of our sinful nature. So but we should leave it at that. It's something that we should shun.
I think
What are we shunning?
That thought, that that envy.
These guys are boiling.
Okay, these guys are boiling.
Let me give. So I remember talking to someone very close. She was telling me that in school she was very a good girl, didn't mess around, wasn't into boys. Now she's not married, and she's wondering, these friends and seniors in school that were going to parties, having boyfriends and all of that, they're getting married, having kids. She has been faithful, good girl, and you can tell from her voice that, hey, she told me once she wished she even experimented on some things.
So
And I'm like, I couldn't.
yeah, no. But actually, there's an answer, and we've been saying this thing since.
Okay.
The Christian journey is about suffering.
It's not fair.
Long suffering.
Yes.
It's not fair.
And this also plays into it. Some people start their suffering early. Some people start theirs
later. Yes.
And some people not suffer at all.
Everybody suffers something.
Some suffer for eternity. Some suffer for a while.
some might get married early and not have kids. So because I always wait that, okay, yes, these people are married, but they don't have kids.
And then there's some people that will get married early. They'll have kids. They'll live long.
Some they will get married, have kids. Then the kids are their headache. Okay, think of, there's always going to be something.
But that's the thing. At this point, we're trying to justify
unbelievers now.
Yeah? Even Christians.
No, Christians are meant to suffer.
Okay, of course they know.
It has been appointed unto us to believe.
No, you know why I don't agree. Not all Christians believe
Christ.
that. There are certain pastors who will tell you that you can decree and declare, you can command the air and command things, you can live your best life now. So a Christian, a woman who goes to such a church believes that I can live in sin, and when I'm ready to get married, I'll get a godly man. I win. I can do all things.
Through Christ who strengthens me.
Yeah.
Well, that is faulty theology and faulty doctrine.
So
yeah, but we know that as a Christian that truly believes in what the apostles taught, truly believes in God and His ordinances, you will suffer. You cannot escape it.
now, do you think this girl's strategy was because in a sense I feel for her?
You are saying that she will definitely suffer in a sense.
In a sense, even let's say, of course, if she truly converted, there are some other things she would face, either in marriage or in personal, like that standard.
So in that case, would it be right to now envy them? They've started suffering too. It's like, welcome.
Envy who?
The person that just came to join you. It's like, oh, we are on this journey, this journey of Christian
which person? What are we
purification and sanctification.
Okay.
We are in this journey of Christian sanctification, and someone that was living life aloof comes to join you, and focus on the present. You don't know what God has planned for her. So it's like, what are you really envying? So because if the person is truly Christian, they will suffer. If the person is an unbeliever, they will suffer too.
Yeah, if they don't suffer here, of course they suffer.
So the mindset is important. We kind of understand, because that's what Jesus was trying to help us with when He was telling us all these parables. So our minds are stayed on the fact that God saves, God qualifies, and all our sin to God, they are the same.
Yeah, that's true.
So it does not matter if somebody was sinning for 50 years and repented on the last day before he died, and you've lived for 100 years righteous. All of us still get the same glorification. Yeah. And I think even once you are saved, you have a higher charge too, because I think it's in scripture, that the person that has been doing good all the while and then stumbles.
Oh Lord, yep.
All the stumbling that will count.
Yep, all the good.
I want us to look at the last this thing, and I really want to hear your thoughts. at the end of the day, a man who fails to judge a woman by her past
I was about to ask
is
that.
a man whose future will suffer for the consequences of his action. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, give us
But as
from a
Christians, we are
biblical.
called to suffer. So yeah, that is the thing. Is the thing. So we
Jesus is
the-
Lord.
Should the man suffer? Should the man
the
suffer
wisdom
for
of
the
God is
past
foolish,
sins
is
of the woman?
foolishness to it's foolishness to man.
So the man should
Is that
suffer
how it is said?
for.
I thought it's the wisdom of man. It's foolishness.
The things of spirit are foolishness to man. It's still the same thing.
Yeah, it goes both ways. So
So
I'm saying that this godly man now is going to suffer for the consequences of the past of this woman. Is that what you're saying? Because
he's going to join her in her suffering.
Hey.
He's definitely going to join her in her
how?
suffering.
Why? Is it
You don't know
man?
what. So
What of that scripture that says your partner, though it was for woman, it covers you sort of.
that
If one is an unbeliever and one is a believer.
makes you holy. Yeah, but like holiness and suffering are different things now.
Okay.
It's like we are not saying that you get your reward for your holiness on earth. After all, it's God's holiness. So it's not really yours. You are justified by faith in the righteousness of Christ. So all the work you are doing is just like Eshe Baba. Whatever merit you have for it is God just being gracious to you, is him just extending more grace to you. So you're not really meriting anything at all. So it just, and then someone that has, lived that kind of life, that kind of life is not without its consequence. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not everybody that will be spared of the consequence. Some people will be spared of it so that, they continue in it. And that is, because the devil will not fight his own.
Election and something.
And some people will receive the consequences. God will give them the consequences so that they repent.
Okay.
Some people, the consequences will stir them to repent.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so
this is a matter of Christian preference. If you decide to go with someone like that, you should also be willing to lay your life for that person and share in their burdens, because that's what marriage is about.
That's if the lady is open to confessing truly the past, or she shouldn't say anything about her adventures, because whoever the man, because the man after the marriage now starts to discover these things.
This thing is packed because this thing is packed because at one end you are saying that you are getting married to a believer who has truly changed, and if the person has truly changed, then there can be no secrets between the two of you.
Okay, I hope you are listening. Brian is educating us.
Okay.
But if you fall into the trap, because it could also be a trap, of someone that is trying to game the system and get the best quality men.
The system you are saying is God's system, have you?
Life system, which
okay.
is God's system.
Yeah.
Because
having best of both sides.
The best of both worlds.
Not really best of both worlds, just having the best of life now.
Yes.
Because when we are talking about this is just materialistic. Everything here we are talking about is materialistic. Even marriage is a material thing. There's no marriage in heaven.
But it has some
it has spiritual benefits.
Yes, and it's also sacred.
It is.
Yes, it is.
It is illustrative. Yeah,
yes, illustrative. Yeah.
Life is not.
And yes, but
life is also
for
not
the purpose
just material. Life is spiritual too.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but the thing is, when people are looking for a good marriage, or a happy marriage, that is something you're looking for on earth. You want your life to be easy on earth. So it's a Christian luxury.
Right, don't do that.
It's a Christian luxury.
Marriage is Christian. No.
How can you call it a Christian luxury?
It's a Christian luxury
It's
now.
a Christian necessity for some. or
no.
most.
I'm not saying that
Except you are
marriage.
gifted to
I'm
be
not
a
saying that
eunuch.
marriage is a Christian luxury. I'm saying a happy marriage is a Christian luxury. A happy marriage is a Christian, like a marriage without troubles is a Christian luxury.
Okay.
Because marriage comes with troubles. And we talked
It's
about
true.
this last
It's true. It's true.
last
Definitely,
episode.
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first
and I
institution
know
that
what
was
my
attacked.
stance on that was.
So, but I want us to sort of, because remember this platform, we speak from a biblical perspective. Some women that live their life this way, a lot of them have what we call a feministic ideology. And that's an area that some people don't like to discuss or talk about. Now, we boldly hold a biblical worldview. Can we explore that area for people, women especially, who have this worldview of I'm independent, I can do as I like, I live my truth and all of that, because that's the really most of the motivations.
So
for them.
another thing is, so that is addressing the feministic part. Is
And some women don't even know because they think this way. Some are trained in this way, either by friends or even family that say, oh, you need to do this. You don't need a man. You have to be this and that. Because I remember the video I watched. She's African American. She said she's 50 years old. I'm 50 years old. I'm quoting her. I'm 50 years old. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I was part of the feminist movement. Feminism for me was a scam. I'm lonely now. If I could take back the years, I would do things differently. I'm seeing that same thing.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sensing that same thing, that they come to a realization
later
after on that, all of these things would don't matter anymore. The core things that matter now is that they want to be in a home, have a husband, have children. But remember, he also mentioned, the guy who commented here, that how come in their 20s they didn't seek to consult God and want to live right and all of that. So should women ignore that and say, no, you know what? I'm 20. I can't be thinking about all of that. I just want to focus on my career and do all of that.
I think what we are missing also is that we are thinking that these women always end up with the best of the churchmen, because
interesting.
The Christian man is going to marry young if he can. Very young if he can. Like,
I never thought about that.
Yes.
Wait.
So the people that
to an extent.
To an extent, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's also the issue in addition to being, a Christian man and wanting to marry young, there are a couple of things that could, essentially be obstacles, of the financial constraints. And most importantly, there's also the issue of ensuring that, if you're going to get married, you need someone else. So what if
you don't find...
What if you don't find someone else on time?
I'm saying normatively, a Christian man is going to want to get married early.
True.
Yes.
Maybe ideally, a Christian man wants to get married.
Yeah,
that doesn't always translate
with fire.
Definitely.
Yeah, but that doesn't always. In fact, I would argue
it's the same thing for women too now, is it not?
Not necessarily.
So you can't say that
now.
all women that are old and are not married did not want to get married early.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
But based on the way the world is right now, I feel like there are a lot of women who are trying to get the class or the type of men that a lot of women want to get. I mean, as he said in the tweet, high value men.
Yeah.
And what is he rating the value based on? It's money now.
Yes.
At least it's
or a certain level.
List, yeah.
A certain
that's
level.
What I'm saying. So I'm saying that.
Yeah. So if the Christian man wants to get married early, but for some reason
it doesn't.
financial constraints prevent him from doing that, as it does most men in the world today, yeah, chances are by the time, this woman comes around, the 30-year-old woman, and she doesn't even have to hit 30 before she decides that she doesn't want to live this life anymore. She could be 27, 28, and she's like, yeah, this thing is no longer for me. I've done what I want to do.
I'm satisfied.
Yes. Yeah, she could still come around and meet a good...
I know. I'm not saying that she can't meet a good... I'm saying that we are assuming that they will always meet
Not
good.
always, but balance of probability says maybe half the time they meet a good man.
I don't know if that's a correct estimation.
See, the way I see it...
The way I see it, a good man... a good man actually knows how to pick.
Yes, but a good man, a good Christian man, also believes that all things are passed away. And
but you know that...
And that would be true for someone that is now a new creation. And for that person, I'll say it's fine.
Well, men sort of have I wouldn't say the upper hand, because I think I talked about this with someone. A 60-year-old man can decide he wants to marry tomorrow, but a 60-year-old woman, it's not going to be easy for her if she's single, not married, and all of that. So men sort of have it, better. It's not fair, and that's why I would, it's my own personal opinion now, that be a Proverbs 31 woman. Be a Christian woman, be a godly woman, be one that submits to God early enough, and then be ready for marriage when the opportunity presents itself. There'll be men who ask you, don't say, because of career and all of that. Nothing wrong with being a career woman. I have nothing against. In fact, I always want to learn, bring value to the table, all of that. But don't wait too long. It's not fair on you guys. I feel for you guys.
Wait. I know you have a lot to say about that. But before we go into that, I want to say something. So, the way I see it, unless we're moving into, this is how things actually play out in the world, and we're not focusing entirely on the Christian community, then if we're focusing entirely on the Christian community, right now, I don't know a lot of Christian men who are getting married early.
True. Very true.
Ideally, yes.
I know a lot.
Of Chris. What is early?
Early is after school.
20s, after what school?
20s.
A lot where? In Nigeria.
Where? In this Nigeria.
Where?
In this economy.
Where?
I was going to say, not the same economy.
Well, not...
There are certain groups, certain churches, bits and pieces. I know I've forgotten the name. I think Mennonites. And, in the US, yeah, sure. They do it a lot, high school and then they get married.
So you're talking about Nigeria, have you?
Yes. Of course it's Nigeria. We're talking about things as they affect us, Brian. Remember, I said that at the beginning.
Well, now, I think it's wrong. It's wrong.
See. No. Let me be done. Yeah. So right here. Now, I know that there are bits and pieces, certain factions here and there of the church in Nigeria. I also know that they're not doing that, not here.
You're right.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
So Christian men are not getting married early here because of, one thing.
Bad doctrine.
No, because of one thing or the other. No, because of
It's not
harsh
bad doctrine.
economic
It's not bad
realities.
Bad doctrine.
Because of harsh economic realities.
Don't mind Brian. No?
There are a lot of Christian men who are actually getting into their 30s, sometimes maybe even 40s.
At some
Before
point,
they
you,
get
you have
married.
to just, have faith.
And if they're doing that, it means that, a lot of these women are the women they're getting married to.
That's true. And
These are the women that are going to church 5 times a week.
Yeah, that's
These
true.
are the women that are ready for marriage. The women that don't want to date you for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years before, you pop the question.
And the man has not
These are
gotten
the
his
women you will
act
have.
together.
Yes,
I
these are
get
the
what
women.
you're
Exactly.
saying.
These are the women you will
saying.
have conversations with 2 weeks, and
there's
they
a lot of
approach the
interest.
subject of marriage. They are
And
ready.
they are ready for
you
you.
two, you are ready. After 2 months, you get married.
No time.
Exactly.
You waste time.
And when you're talking about it, you're like, I just knew it was the one. The woman in the video we played, she said God will tell him that's it. And this is somebody who wants to get married. And he has met a woman
I
that
don't
wants to
mention
get
the
married.
God way, but because we'll go and
I'm not even saying.
but-
I'm not even
Yeah.
saying it might not necessarily be from God.
Mhm.
Probably more than half the time that people say, "Oh, it's God." It's most likely not God.
Maybe intuition or
But
something. Mhm.
exactly. But this person, wants to get married. His entire mindset is, God, I beg, let me find somebody that I can get married to.
Mm.
And in comes
Somebody's
this
ready.
woman.
Yeah.
1 or 2 conversations. She's pretty. The woman in the video is pretty.
Yeah.
1 or 2 conversations. You bring it up. Yeah, where do you see yourself in the next couple of whatever? How do you feel about this? And she's like, yeah, she's open to it. Right now it's one of the things that she's thinking about. And she's praying about it. And the man's thinking, I've been praying about it too.
So
And in
they
2
are
months,
made for each
they
other.
might.
No
It's
need
true.
to pray again.
It's true now. They were made for each other. So the thing is, I get the sense of the problem, but the problem is deep. We have a problem of marrying late, which is common with men as well as women. So the problem is that it is common with men first.
Harsh
Yes.
economic realities, Brian.
Marriage is
Harsh
supposed to
economic realities.
Marriage is supposed to be a man getting a helpmate. So harsh economic realities is not supposed to stop marriage. Yes.
I think so. I think that with the way you guys are talking, some women would look at the reality on ground. Some of them are ready for marriage, but they are men. They are seeing these men are not grown, financial challenges, all of that. Then they decide, okay, you know what? Let me pursue my career, do my masters, do my PhD.
The problem is from
and
the
then
men.
years are going on, and they can't find someone. And so, to an extent, I won't blame them for following that route. But I also say that there are still some good men and godly men out there, and I'm talking from experience because some of the things that I know now, I didn't know 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
If I could rewind back the hands of time, I'll marry early. Number 1. Number 2, I'm afraid of having kids. I'll find something that will put food on the table. That my thinking on that thing has shifted.
How exactly is the wedding going to happen?
There are people who have gotten married in their parlor. They've done small mommy more, introduce father. This is your daughter. You start life. All these things. I must have this. I must have that.
Exactly.
I must have.
So we have bad understanding of marriage. Marriage marriage for men has become only the responsibility apart from the gains of marriage, because there's actually something to be gained. You are gaining a helper. The helpmeet part of marriage is disappeared. Like it has been reduced to maybe kitchen, that or washing. Like that is what people used to judge helpmeets now.
How
Helpmeet is what the man needs. Guys, help me.
So there's no way you talk about that without talking about the man as the head of the home.
Yes.
And that is being attacked today, male headship.
No, wait. But see, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, male headship,
Mm.
head of the home.
Mm.
What are the responsibilities of the man as head of the home? And what happens if the woman that this man is approaching for marriage
Yeah.
does not deem him fit to take on the responsibilities associated with the title head of the home?
Okay. Right. Or you want me to?
Because you're saying
so-
help meet.
Okay.
You're
So
supposed to help this man
Mm.
do whatever it is he is doing.
Mhm.
no, not whatever. So that's why in marriage, remember, marriage is designed by God.
Mhm.
And so the order of thing is God, the man, the woman, and children. The man must be a man that submits to God. So it means that you can't marry any kind of man, and a man cannot marry any kind of woman. You must have that understanding that when you're coming into marriage, both of you are coming to form a union. A man would leave father and mother, start his own family. The wife must see you, or the woman must see you as someone that can lead her, not just provide. You must be a priest, a prophet in your family.
Away.
Yes, that all of the no. See, I was talking about
Provision, Abi.
helpmate
If-
when you
if
said
the-
So to the woman,
You also mentioned Proverbs 31 woman.
yes,
Exactly. Is she not doing the helping?
the helping, yes.
Yeah, that's what I was pointing out
But
when
the,
I said
but the,
when I was
the
making reference to
motivation for her
helpmate.
is not for is whatever she's becoming trading with is contribution to her family.
That's my point.
Mhm.
She's helping.
Yes.
What happens when and you mentioned a couple of interesting things there, you know, prophets, priests, these,
Yes.
that.
Provider, yes.
Yes.
Protector, yeah.
So what happens? Protector.
Mhm.
What happens if the woman, doesn't believe that the man is capable of fulfilling his duties as head of the home?
They are married now.
No, they're
Or
not
prior
married.
to that. So those
So,
are
so
the-
that's
period
like
of
as a reason for
courtship
not
and all of that.
marrying the person, Abi.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
the understanding of these things is important. Yeah. The understanding of these things is important. The training of men in these areas is important
Yes,
as well.
that's very
In terms
important.
of provision is not based on a
It's not the
particular
only
salary
thing. It's not the
figure.
only thing. Mhm.
It's not based on an amount. It's
Yeah.
based on a hardworking man.
Yes.
It's as simple as that.
I don't think so, but go on.
You don't think so?
No.
I'm going to say
That's-
something
that's-
after him. Go on.
A man that is able to live within is able to provide for his needs within his means. Because
Basic.
Christians are supposed to live within their means. It's not
Yeah.
we don't have a standard of living that is okay. This is a Christian standard of living. If you are able to provide food,
Shelter,
shelter, clothing,
clothing, basic
Regardless
stuff.
of the quality of these things.
regardless of the quality,
Regardless.
as long as you are
regardless.
working, you are not lazy.
You're not you get the guy driving
slothful.
Uber, is he not providing for his family? The one
So-
with the do Mara, they provide for his family. The one managing a restaurant is providing for his family. You can't use status to gauge who a man is. A man is beyond what he provides.
Life
a man,
is more than food.
meat and drink and
Yes, and clothes.
So let me now emphasize my little point, okay? 4 things I learned. For a man, a biblical man, you must be a provider. That's just standard. You must provide. You can't be lazy. You must work. You must be a protector. You are the man. There are some things men can do, women cannot do. Even though the world as it is now, men and women are competing and everything, our rules are different. God designed us uniquely. He must be a priest and a prophet. And I'll say this is now that I realized one of my relationships, it ended. And I remembered when we're going back and forth in some argument, the young lady told me, I want you to lead me. She wasn't even talking finance. She was talking from a spiritual perspective. But for someone like me, there were a lot of things I didn't know. I wasn't frequent as reading my Bible, knowing what is expected of me as a man, knowing that I should actually be someone that submits to Christ,
But
be able to pray, teach, and all of that. No one taught me that. So up until maybe last year or so that I started to learn and then even now starting to attend a church that teaches scriptures and teaches you how to be a man. Many men have gone into marriage, they don't even know what is happening. It's the woman that is controlling them and all of that. So all of this, I think everything starts from the family.
From the training of the men.
The training of the men. And even from when they grow and all of that. So
and not the women.
First, because the men, take it this way. The commandments were given to men. And the men made commandments for the women.
The men did what for the women?
And the men were supposed to instruct the women. That's why, the women are supposed to be quiet in church. And ask their husbands
when
at
they
home.
get home.
So the husbands can instruct their wives.
Yes.
You fix the men, you fix the family.
Yes. That's it. That's the home truth.
If you get men to marry early, women will fall in line and start marrying early.
The men will grow up early. Because when you're married, responsibility hits you hard.
Yeah.
You're forced to grow up.
I was told that quite recently.
And
that's very important.
Men also train their daughters, to know men.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I think this whole feminism is standing on the shoulders of men, weak men.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. If men understand their role and actually live up to it, feminism will crumble.
But no. Let me say this. Ideally, yes. But
no, I said if. I'm not saying that all men can.
No, it won't even happen. You know why?
Yeah.
The devil has attacked the family, attacked men, and that's not going to stop. No, and that's why a grown man can wake up one day and say, I feel like a woman. And then there are laws that would support that guy becoming a woman. And then you can enter a female's bathroom and do anything. The world is crazy. And that's why more than anything, we need biblical men. Men who will stand for God, stand for their family, protect their family, provide for their family. Be men. Act like it's important.
Be a man.
Be a man.
Do the right thing.
So back to
the topic.
So back to this stuff. So I want us to sort of look at both sides. For the women who say, okay, you know what, I hear what you guys are saying, but I can't wait to. All the men I'm seeing, they are not grown. They are not. Some say men are scum, all of that. Some already have a view of men generally, but they would want to sort of start early, find someone settle down. And then there's the other group who are like, I'm career driven. I'm not ready to submit to a man. I want to pursue this and that. Where do they find the balance? We because such women are watching this, and we need to be able to give a balance view on that matter.
So first off, when you're looking at marriage, choosing a spouse, it's like you're looking for another Christian. That is basically it. Yeah.
From a believer standpoint.
What you're looking for is a Christian.
Yes.
That's why
that's important.
At some point I realized that all this extra, communication is the key to healthy relationship. All these extra things that
from the gurus.
Wait. So you don't think communication is the key to a healthy relationship?
No, it's not the key. It's maybe one of the keys.
It's one of the minor. It's one of the things that that will come in. That will come in when you get the key.
And what is the key?
The key to a healthy relationship,
in your opinion,
is being equally yoked with someone.
Yeah.
And you can even apply this across, for unbelievers as well too. When you're equally yoked, you will find it easy. But for a believer, this is a funny thing. You're actually equipped for both being equally yoked and unequally yoked.
When you say equally yoked and unequally yoked, essentially means a believer being with what does Equally yoked mean?
Equally yoked means that you have the
Like-minded
same
people.
Believer must date a believer.
Yeah,
You
a
mustn't
believer
date
with a believer,
marry a believer. That
an
kind of thing.
unbeliever with an unbeliever, or same ideals, same mindset.
There is a significance.
Those things are important. Yeah.
There's been a trend of a significant uprising in the rates of divorces in developed countries. And one of the things that we know about developed countries, for the most part, is they're not as religious. How would you explain that divorces are, rising in marriages between two unequally yoked people?
Unequally?
Or two equally yoked people, yes. They're two unbelievers, so they're, equally yoked.
Well, if they are unbelievers and they're equally yoked, then divorce is not a problem for them. It's part of their ideals. So it's a believer that has a problem with divorce. It's a believer that is scared of divorce, I don't want my husband to divorce me, or I don't want my wife to divorce me. The believer himself is not thinking of divorcing himself.
So.
He's not thinking of divorcing, but he's scared that his partner is going to divorce him. So as a believer, your problem is that you can only say, to an extent, because the heart is treacherous, you can only say how much you can do. You can't vouch for another person. Yeah. So you can only take care of your own parts. And that is the whole Christian walk. You do your parts, leave the rest for God. You serve, and if they don't pay you, you take it with God, say, God, they did not pay me, I'm doing my part. And for the husband, he serves, for the wife, she serves, everybody's serving as unto God, and their reward is from God. But in God's mercy, they might also have a beautiful marriage that everything is reciprocated, but that is not guaranteed.
Even if it's not reciprocated, you're supposed to just continue doing it.
Yes. So
that's it. What are you talking about?
For going back to the question, like for the women that can't find men in the men that they want.
Yeah. Christian men who are responsible and all of that.
The men that they want.
Leaders, providers, prophets,
all that good stuff.
Priests, all that good
Please,
stuff.
there are no perfect men anywhere.
So
okay?
that is where I'm going to first. You have to assess what you really want. Is it Christian, or are there layers of your own materialism there that you are, that's masking what you want? Because what you actually should, that's why I said the real test for a believer, what you want in a spouse, is that the person is a Christian. If the person is a Christian, then even if the person is not the kind of priest you want, the person is going to grow into that priest.
Okay.
Even if the person is not the kind of prophet you want, the person is going to grow into that prophet. Even if the person is not the kind of provider you want, God is going to meet your needs. Yeah. Even if the person, in the areas that the person can grow, the person will grow as a Christian. In the areas that the person cannot, God will cover. And
interesting.
with that faith,
I agree. To an extent.
You can get married to any person that you see the fruits of the Spirit in.
Yeah.
So that is what you should look out for. So what do you really want in a spouse?
Yes.
You want the fruit of the Spirit, and that is all.
For men too, let me add to it, for men, there are no perfect women anywhere. In fact, when you see yourself as a leader, you can teach, nurture, train that woman to the image you want in a biblical sense. And I think that's okay. Not that in the morning they're asking you, hey, can you lead us in Bible? So leave me alone. I need to do other. You must be present. You have to lead them. And because how you relate to your wife, your children are saying. There are some things that you don't have to say. Your kids have learned them. They've taken it from you. And that's why men need to be leaders. Men need to step it up. Men need to pray, surrender to God. I don't know. I'm passionate about it.
It's actually an important topic because I usually say this is unsubstantiated, but I have this theory that most men in this time grew up as feminists in a sense.
Most, not all.
Most, yeah. So we have this idea of women that, women should be more pious than the men. They should be more chaste than the men. They should be purer than the men.
And that is feminism.
That's feminism, yes. That is an aspect of... That is men falling.
Yeah.
Men falling. Yeah. Seeing what the patriarchs of old did not see. Because the man, just like Christ is our righteousness, the man is the woman's righteousness.
Yes. There's the scripture where the husband should be able to lay down his life for his wife and all of that. And
you're supposed to offer her as an accept to
and present her blameless. Yes. So that those are things that I learn. I'm like, I think they figure out how will I present.
So we grew up seeing our moms, as the prayer warrior in the family, looking for prayerful wives, wives that were more spiritual than the men.
And it shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be. They're finished at that point.
And do you know there are women looking for men who are prayerful, who are biblical, they know scriptures. In fact, that's all they need to see. You don't have to have a lot in your back and they will follow you. True. Men, you are listening. That's all.
No, but to those women,
for some women,
please look for the fruit of the spirit.
Yes,
because
very
Rabosh is not the mark of a Christian man.
It's true.
Anybody can.
I'm sure you guys have addressed tongues, right? Before. It's not for this video, but
but gifts of the spirit do not define a Christian.
Definitely, character matters. Yes,
just the fruits. Love, peace,
patience. Because in marriage, all of that will be tested and be brought out. Do you get? That's when you will know whether you are really
you married a Christian,
or whether you are really a woman. Some women, the idea of submitting to a man, he will tell me not to go here. What? You can't tell me that.
Is that a fruit of the spirit?
What is that?
To submit.
Submission. Yeah. Yes. Humility.
Yeah. Agreeing that this is my head.
Humility. There's something that we've been going over, fruit of the spirit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I've been picking up this kind of relationship between all the fruits of this, like they're intertwined. Mm-hmm. So you can even say that submission is self-control.
Yes.
Joy. Peace,
joy,
love. Yes, because you have to do it with gladness. So if you don't have that joy of the spirit, you pick fault with submitting to your spouse, to an imperfect spouse.
Even the men will find out loving their wives. It's not all the time you would love your wife. It can annoy you. But you have the fruit of the spirit, you will love.
Yeah. So you have to be able to,
It's like the thing is like revelation for Basil.
No. See, it's not a revelation, right? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I hear these things that are being said. I agree with a bulk of the things that are being said.
But
in this world today,
we've gone so far away from the biblical standards.
I'm hearing, talks about, trying to get back the family, get men who are able to, and in my head, my goodness, I can't help but think that it's an uphill battle and the hill is very steep.
It is.
I agree.
It is.
Yes.
I agree.
But it will start with that is the importance of church. A good church
is the truth.
A good church.
Is the
And how many
truth.
good churches do you know?
I know.
At least ours is a
I know
good church.
one,
At least one.
and I know that one has sister churches. So it's coming up. The numbers are coming up.
They are coming up.
Are
Don't worry.
Are they really coming up?
Well, you
Are they
don't
really
need.
It's not about the numbers.
You don't even need.
And that's right
The
there
quality
is what see,
is-
and somehow we've circled back to my point because I don't know what this is. I'm saying in the world today, I'm talking about the number of. I'm talking about how far.
We are not on a journey to save the world.
No, ours is to obey God's commandment. And seek
do
What about the Great? What about the Great Commission? What about the Great Commission?
Basil, it's God that saves.
Ours is to proclaim.
Ours is to do what He has told us to do.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's not just to do.
We can't.
What is the thing that we're supposed to do?
Well, make disciples,
Proclaim the gospel and that.
By making disciples,
we are not the ones that save them.
Aren't we? If we are involved in the process of making disciples, aren't we essentially,
saving the world?
Saving the world.
You never take class.
The world. Yes, in a sense, but we are not trying to save everybody.
Everybody. No. It's not our
We are
job.
trying to save
And we
those who
can't.
God wants to save.
Oh boy, we've walked right into the what's that thing called again?
The election and other stuff.
Let's not do
So
that.
who goes
Not
into
today.
all that?
It's
So
not
we don't
even
go to all that.
just. It's not about that. The thing here is it is not in our power. Yeah, we cannot concern ourselves with what we do not have control over. Yeah.
So just one step at a time.
Yes, exactly.
Regardless of how many steps
they are to be taken. Yes. So yes, it's an uphill battle, but we fight regardless, and the odds are in our favor
because we have God.
Because we are not even fighting with the odds. We are fighting with God. God is behind us.
All right, let's try to tie up. So from the video and the comments, what are your final thoughts? Final thoughts.
My final thoughts
Or
are.
what should people take home in everything we've discussed, touching on men, women,
That's the thing.
all of that?
Personally, I can't
not
see
take
there's
anything
anything to take home. I can't see there's anything to take home. Personally, I would say I'm very much interested in hearing what everyone else has to say about it.
On it, yes.
There's nothing to take home, I think this is an evolving discussion or conversation.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
sure,
think there's stuff
there
to
are
take home.
recommendations, like, maybe try to get married early.
Yes, as a man.
Like, yes,
As a woman too, yes. Come on.
If you are a man afraid of this kind of thing, then marry early now. It's not.
Yes.
That's true. Yeah.
Try to get married early, That would be a recommendation.
Yeah. Okay.
Apart
And
from
be
that,
equally yoked.
Oh yes.
Very important.
Do your best as a man to, be with someone who is a Christian, proper Christian
very
too.
important.
Not yes, exactly, not a pseudo Christian or someone who's
just kabash up and down.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. That would be it. Everything else would be personal opinions
and preferences.
Preferences.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But
And preferences.
The takeaway would be some people have been gifted by God to actually be able to, take on certain challenges.
Like being with someone who has,
Are you saying that some people have that gift? That
Been
such
out
women,
and
when they
about.
come, they have the gift for
Yes.
Brian, okay.
Yes.
We'll be able to explore that. But is his own opinion.
And
Go on.
if you have that gift, do not be discouraged.
You know, I have something
Nice
to say to
theology.
that, but I can't say it because there are a couple of reasons why I can't. One of them, or I suppose the primary one, would be if I do, we're going to be here for another hour.
Yes, and
So,
all right. My own final
I have
thoughts.
something to say.
Go on.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's it. I'm not going to say it. but-
My own final
Yeah.
thoughts, I think that such women, when they come to that realization, two things can happen if you are in that same space. You might be fortunate to meet a good, godly man, but that is not always the case. I would say that you should repent of all these things you've done, place your faith in Christ Jesus, and then walk with him. In that process, when you attend the church, you may and may not, if God wills, meet someone who together you can build not just a home, a godly home together. And other women, try to listen to who is advising you.
No, but try to listen for.
No, whoever is advising you, try and
careful.
analyze.
Yeah.
Put on your thinking cap. Don't just take any advice like that. Wait with scripture. Remember, we are defending our views
Even
here.
our advice.
And even whatever we advise,
Yes.
you still go and wait with
Against the scripture, yes.
Be Berean, Acts 17:11. Okay, so that's just my own little thoughts to share with you.
Let me still say something. Anyone who believes they can, swindle God is in for a surprise.
You can't.
And I think we should not bother ourselves with...
Try.
No, not even about trying to swindle. I'm saying Christian men should not bother themselves about these kind of issues. Because if you are doing what God has called you to do, if you are looking out for the right things in a woman, that is, you're looking out for a true believer, not someone that merely acts like a believer, you will not fall into their hands.
Exactly.
And there's no lack of bad quality of women across the ages. She might be 18 and be the worst,
Okay.
Yeah.
the worst woman that you could have laid your hands on.
Hands. Oh my goodness. Eyes.
Yeah.
Well, no, when you're married, when you're married, yes. So hands.
Eyes.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
use
That's
eyes.
okay.
They understand.
I agree.
They understand.
But yeah, it's not about the age. It's not about how much they've done, even though it might be important to know what you are inheriting. But you should concern yourself with keeping your eyes out for Christian fruits. That's the important thing.
Fruits of the Holy
If your
Spirit.
eyes are there, you will not fall into the snare of the evil one. Yeah, you'll be safe. God has equipped us to protect us. And if you find yourself with someone who is truly saved, that has a
Checkered
shady
past.
past, then God has also equipped you with the gifts and the grace to deal with such situations.
Okay.
And in all, if you are right with God, you should not be scared.
Yes.
There's no problem there.
Yes, I agree.
Well. This has been very riveting. My goodness. Whatever thoughts, comments, opinions, views you have with regards to this subject, we would be more than glad to get them. So please don't, hesitate to drop a comment or send us a mail, talk about whatever it is that you think of this particular subject or topic. As I said, it is supposed to be a conversation. And so we would very much love to keep the conversation going. Wow. Wow. Yes, and if you have any other ideas, topics, suggestions, whatever it is that you would like to discuss, or views, most importantly, views, we would very much love to have you on here to defend those views. And until next time, I'm Basil.
Uncle Shaw.
Brian.
And may the good Lord be with each and every one of you. Take care.
Rebosh.